Hi crew, I'm Lex, and today we'll be talking about Wyrd's Black Friday sale, which also happens to be their 17th birthday sale. It's great. So at Gen Con, they released the Nightmare Edition for Hoffman, the Fallen Kingdom and Legendary Forge boxes, and during the Black Friday sale, we'll be getting Walking Fortresses, which count as Riot Breakers. So that pretty much rounds off that crew, except for the odd Defendy guy with shield. Guardians, which rounds it out except for Guardians and Stalkers. If you're up for like previous year's Nightmare crews as well, currently, because I'm doing this while the sales started about a couple of hours ago, we've got Brine and Bones and Salty Sea Devil to complete that keyword. We've got Alt Ulix, which is Unicorn Vomit and Pixie Farts, which is the My Little Pony alt models. The War Rabbit from like ages ago, which is like War Pig done up as a big rabbit, all Easter style. We've got Malifaux 1988, which is an awesome cyberpunk Nightmare set. Then you can pick up a alternate metal golem for that. Last year's Deeper Steps with the Alt Nakima, which are all like mermaids or mermaidering, and Blood on the Water, which is the Mantua Nephilim for it, are available. Curiosity Killed the Cat, which is like the Hamlin, but instead of rats, they're cats, which is great. Alternate Rat King, Catters instead of Rat Curders. We've got Dark Carnival Mr. Cooper, which is the Colette Nightmare box, and the choreography for that. And we've got Wild Ones, which is McCabe, all done up like steampunkier, and like they're going back even further. We've got like Nightmare Edition Herald of Obliteration Tara. That was the first release of Tara before we got her as an actual box. So her and Katrina have like really static poses. They're nowhere near as actiony, but the big obliteration like monster thing has like twice as many arms, and he's just bigger. He's not quite twice the size, but he's massive. We've got Nightmare Edition Hanging Trees, which is the two creators and heads of Wyrd Games hanging from a tree, so they count as a tree thing. I forget the name of it. And Two Hanged. We've got Nightmare Edition Whiskey Golem, and that's pretty much most of the Nightmare crews that have ever been released, short of like Dead Justice, which is the old metal alt sculpt for the Lady J crew. Pretty fine sort of turnout. We've got two of the three Christmas Waldos, so we're missing the 2021, but there's 2019, 2021. We've got the limited editions for this year's when you spend over 100, which is the limited edition Winona Finnegan, and the Alec Volkov, which is an old Guild Steward, which is really good. I've been sitting on wanting to get a Guild Steward for like probably 2 or 3 years now. It's like, I'll buy it when they're in stock at the local game store, and then they have it, but I don't really like want to spend money, and now we've got an alt scope, so I don't need Mr. Old Dump Truck House. There's the new Rotten Harvest with Lady J. So if you're picking up Rotten Harvest, La Dos Dia de los Muertos and La Noche de Lloros, I hope that's how you say this, you've pretty much got the entire like martial keyword. You just need to pick up that box with the camels, the judge, and the recruiters, and that's your keyword. That's 3 boxes for a keyword. That's super great. We've got last year's Rotten Harvest with like Zarada and Beware the Lights, which is the Will-o'-the-Wisps and the big grown-up version. We've got the Riches and Woes Rotten Harvest Iggy, which is great. So that's from 2020's Rotten Harvest Pandora, and Baby Cade and Candy is a 2-pack. We've got Mystique from Gen Con. We've got the Mishappen from Easter, Misguided from last year. We've got like Misanthrope, which is an alt ruffian from like ever ago. I've like got 3 of those already. It's really cool. It's got like 2 or 3 different head options, and it's got like 3 or 4 arm options. So you can build like with a couple of those, you can build up all the ruffians you need from a McCabe crew. We've got Alt Samus, which is Misfayance. We've got Alt Willie for Misfire. We've got Mysterious and Alt Taylor. Mysterious, the Alt Death Marshal. Mystery, the Alt Teddy. Easter Angelica, which is hilarious. We've got Egapult and Daredevil Egg. We've got the limited edition Easter Victorias from, I think, last year, maybe the year before, where one of them was dressed as like a Playboy bunny and the others in like a fursuit. Hilarious. We've got Rob Jebson, which is the Bob Ross Slop Hauler alternate model. We've got limited edition Binyan and limited edition Samantha Thrace, and I think they were exclusives to the Kickstarter. And what's really surprising is we've got the limited edition vintage models. So these are basically reimaginings of the old first edition sculpts of a lot of the old masters. So we've got Sonya, Masaki, Somna, Rasputina, all looking like more or less they're like original version sculpts. Rasputina's a little bit more jazzy. Pandora and Hamlin look like they're Avatar models, so they're like a little bit extra because the old Hamlin was terrible. Hamlin before he was a master, okay. Hamlin after he was a master, like just terrible in 1.5. And we've got Vintage McMorning, which is, he's an McMorning alt sculpt. But yeah, all those old vintage ones are definitely worth picking up if you want alt sculpt of those original ones, but just with a bit more polish than the old medals had, except maybe Misaki. Misaki's still looking a little bit terrible, racially inappropriate. Like, she's supposed to be Japanese and she's wearing a Chinese dress. Anyway, we've got that thing which they never finished, limited edition Perdita looking sexy, which is based off an old metal model, and limited edition Francesco, and then the big brother, there was an alternate mis-sculpt of him as well, which is missing from here. But that was like a chunk of that crew, and then they just stopped doing that. Limited edition Guildguard, which is awesome. It's one of my favorite female alts of guild models. Just favorite female models that have come out as alt sculpts. Looks absolutely fantastic. We've got the limited edition Witchling Stalkers in translucent red, limited edition Witchling Handler. We've got Dr. Dufresne's as an alt McMorning. We've got an alternate Rafkin, which is a really, really cool resculpt of Rafkin as a lady. We've got Alt Reaver, who, if you want a alt for your Dead Rider, because you don't like that, the Alt Reaver makes a fantastic Dead Rider. We've got limited edition Droga, Amelia Bathory. I'm butchering these names. Who's the alt Nicoderm, who's an old Elvira, Mistress of the Dark sort of sculpt. Emmeline Bellerose, which is an alternate Madame Sibel. Would recommend that, because current Madame Sibel, oof, not as bad as First Ed, but oof. Translucent red Betty Noor, which is great. Betty Noor is like such a cool model. Transparent green Mindless Zombie is a 5-pack. We've got the Hikomi, one of the few alternate He sculpts. Limited edition K-Res, limited edition Firestarter. Again, that they were so close to making a full like limited crew with Kairos. It didn't happen. Limited edition Kandara for like the Sandeep's keyword in translucent lime. Dr. Alexei Sokolov, which is an alternate Josh. An alternate showgirl performer, which is really cool. Can go into that like Dark Carnival box if you need one. Limited edition Titania from like just a resculpt. Silent Night, which is an alternate Killjoy. Beautiful model, looks so freaking awesome, but it's a Killjoy, so that means it's trash. I got to play him in like a game for the first time about a month ago, and man, I can see why people hate Killjoy. It's man, he's just missing something. But I'm sure my opponent found him like really unnerving as well, because he looks big and he should do damage. I mean, he should be great, but he ain't. Limited edition Belly Together, which is a Stitch Together alts, which is absolutely fantastic. Purple Translucent Teddy, Purple Translucent Killjoy, Aqua Translucent Will of the Wisp. So I've got like some of those with whacked LED in them. So when you basically put the battery in, they just start sparkling. It's a multicolored LED. Limited edition Bishop, which is really cool. Would recommend that over the original. Limited edition Barbaros, who's all armored up and looks fantastic. Limited edition Johanna, which is a alternate sculpt of Johann, alternate Lazarus, and that's weird because it's one of those same plastic they use for the pre-assembled minis, but it's in pieces, so it's not pre-assembled. That's a goodish model. It's better than the current Lazarus, and it's much, much better than the old Lazarus. Limited edition Spithog, which is just a different sculpt. Limited edition Swine Curse, limited edition Gremlin, just a Gremlin. Limited edition Bayou Gator, limited edition Tanuki, limited edition like Katanaka Sniper. Those last couple were as local game store giveaways back in the far days, sometimes packed into box. And then the last sort of things we've got for the Black Friday sale as part of the actual sale, but which won't be available outside of that and isn't early stuff. Jackdaw, Pandora, Rasputina, Kirai, Dreamer, Karis, and Lynch, all as the second nerd boxes in either Dayglow colors or translucent colors, but some of them are limited. Dreamer, no more Dayglow pink, it's only transparent pink, so they're probably going to be selling out pretty soon. And that's everything as far as Black Friday special editions go. New releases, we've got Book, we've got Gaining Grounds 3, I'll add that to the cart because I need that. We've got Untold Tales and Ravencroft Core Box, the Voyage volume, which is all those Penny Dreadfuls all like loaded up in a hardcover. Cold Snap, which is Rasputina and Euripides' box. Vagrant Song Seance Scenario with the Fox Sisters. We've got the DC plushie for Vagrant Song, which is awesome. Oh, and comes with exclusive junk cards. Scrapyard box with Mecha Mahatucket and Mayfeng. Forward and Back, which has the Lady J 33 and Title Tara. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. Ooh, that's 12 minutes just me jabbering. Yeah, phenomenal stuff. We just done a great putting on this Black Friday, probably because it's their 17th birthday. So this is going to be going through till, I don't know, maybe the 28th. So you've got about days to enjoy this in. And yeah, If you haven't checked it out, under Malifaux, under their products tab, you've got like Black Friday new releases Malifaux. So if you go into the Malifaux tab and down the bottom, you'll see Malifaux Classics, and that's all the 1.5 and first ed stuff. And that's really cool because they've still got some old avatars there. Like if you want really bad old Marcus avatar, oh, horrible model. Like he was like, oh man, I want to talk about that later. I want to do a whole video on how terrible Marcus's first Sona was, but that's a future thing. One day we'll talk about how a terrible furry Marcus is. In the meantime, yeah, shipping is usually pretty good for Wyrd. If you're doing overseas, it's going to be pricey, but it is what it is. Anything heavy like books are going to bring your price like way up because we've got Madness and Malifaux. That's a cool new book. So do I get it a little bit before my local gaming store, or do I just wait for my store to get in? I mean, we'll see how my shopping goes. I'm up to quite a bit of money already. I'm getting the freebies, but oh yeah, I didn't mention freebies. Well, so when you spend $75, you get an alt Groot slang called Ferocious, and it's like a very tonguey, horrible looking thing, which is a Christmas tree. Which is great. So that's Ferocious. Once you spend $100, you'll get Snow Much Mayhem Waldo, who's Waldo as a pre-assembled mini behind a snowman throwing a snowball. So that gives us 4 Christmas Waldos at the moment, which are usually terrain markers or strat markers or operations for the other side. And if you spend over $100, you'll get a freebie. Yeah, your choice of a lot of the alts I just listed before, and you get those with every additional $100 spent. I've got $100 in my shopping cart. What does it let me do? How does that work? So if you go to your cart, every additional $100 spent. So it looks like you need to spend at least $200 to be eligible for those free minis. Okay, good to know. So I spend an extra $45, and I'll get probably the alt guild fellow. And down the bottom for special instructions to sell, you can leave them a nice message like, hey Wyrd, you're doing a fantastic job. Hey Wyrd, your pre-assembled minis aren't so bad, I don't mind them. Or if you're the other type of person, probably just hold your tongue a little bit because they do a good job. They're doing what they can. They're not Games Workshop, so they deserve a bit of respect. We've done shipping, we've done the minis which are available, we've done the freebie things. I think that's pretty much it. Everyone have a Merry Christmas. For December, I'll probably do an unboxing of To Grandmother's House We Go, and then probably in January I'll be looking at that free pack-in mini for Dragon Daz from Gen Con this year. That's it for me. Have a wonderful Christmas, have a great Black Friday sale, and spend all the money, or don't. Be responsible. Put your life first before your minis. Thanks. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye. See ya. Ciao.